this is I bought this last year at the at-home store. Now they do have something similar this year. It's just black though, solid black. But what I did find this year, oddly enough, was they had a mirror to go with it. So I thought there's not quite the same red, but it's close enough because I'm going to be putting this in my bookshelf when I put all my Halloween stuff out. So I thought that that kind of coordinated really nicely. I've been staring at this guy for like a whole year almost. So I'm glad to finally use him. But we're going to be doing some colors today. We're going to be doing, see, like this burgundy, because that's not a, well, that's not like a bright red. It's more of like a deep, I've bled and it's been sitting there for a little bit, kind of red. But I also just found this black velvet. Now this is flocked on here. This is real soft flocking. So putting it with the black velvet, I think, is really going to give it a pop. Now I do have another ribbon I was thinking of using, but I've decided against it because it's very pretty, but it has a plastic edge and I don't have a lot of it. So, I mean, I might put a little bit in there, but if I try to wrap this around and make like a small loop, that's not really going to go so hot. So this might be for a different project. So I'm going to put those over there. What we're going to use in here though are some florals that I bought. So these are from the at-home store. So I bought 2 of these roses to kind of fill it out, as well as 1 of these hydrangea bushes. So it's going to be mostly just florals, a little bow, and then we're going to have some black accents. I have this bush, which came from, this is Bloom Room, so this came from Joann. You can see all sorts of goodies inside here. It's got the leaves, but it's got these little buds as well. So it's black, but you see how it's airy as well. So it's gonna, I think, be a nice addition. And should I decide I need to add more drama, and I don't know if I'm gonna use this yet, but this also came from the Bloom Room, and this is like a black eucalyptus, but it's slightly flocked. So it's very pretty, but I don't know if I'm gonna use it in this or not. So we're gonna get started then. I'm gonna move all of my florals to the back for now. They have long, long stems, boy, I tell you. And then I have a black stem here. This I cut off a pick, but I want my bow to be a little bit raised up on this. Even though it's not going to be a big bow, but I don't want it to sit on top of here. I don't want to lose seeing this, so I'm going to raise the bow up. I'm going to attach the bow to this, and we're going to put it right in. What I've done with the skull is, oh, good morning, Mary and Linda. Hello, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're a crafter, you know just by looking at this what that is. If you're new, this is great stuff, gaps and cracks. This is like spray insulation that we just kind of put in if there's cracks around something in your home. This came from the home improvement store, but we use it as floral foam. Now, I will tell you, once you put it in here, you spray it, it does puff up some. It actually puffs up quite a bit. On this one, it puffed up a little too much, so I had to take my knife and I had to kind of cut it off as even to this as I could get it. So what I probably will need to do when I'm done is take Spanish moss. And you guys know how I hate Spanish moss, right? I hate Spanish moss, but I might have to tuck it in there just so we don't see some of this white. All right, so let's get started. So I think the first thing that I want to do is maybe start with, I'm going to put in my florals first, because that's going to kind of tell me where my bow is going to go and how big of a bow that I can get away with, because these are such large blooms. So I'm going to start with these. Now I will go through and explain each one. So this is one of the roses from the at-home store. This was $2.99. Let me take a look at the planter. He was expensive, but I think I got him on clearance. The planter was $34.99, but I waited till the end of season, and I know I paid less for him, but I had my eye on him like for weeks. Every time I would go there, I'd talk to him, we'd have a discussion, I'd ask how he's doing, he'd tell me how his day was, you know, we talked. All right, so how high up do I want this arrangement to be? I don't want it to be that tall. That's a little tall. Okay. I'm going to, first of all, I want to angle this toward me just a little bit so I can bend that just slightly, right? And I'm going to start figuring out how tall do I want this arrangement to be. And I don't want it super, super tall. So I think, honestly, here is probably good. If I cut it off after this, that means it's still going to be that tall, which to me is a little too tall. So we're going to go cut it off probably right here. All right? And just sink it in a little bit. Actually, I think the leaves are all going to come off. Okay, hold on. We're going to do that. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to cut it off right above the leaves, okay? Here I go. These are pliers. Just snip it. But see, now I can actually put this in by itself as well and then utilize all these leaves so I'm not throwing them out. So they can kind of mix in there with some of these leaves. They do look pretty similar, actually. They're not that different, so we can do that. So I'm gonna cut this off right here, but I'm keeping my stems because I'm a hoarder of all my craft stuff. These are very handy to keep on hand, okay? All right, so we cut that one off. How I think I want this to go is I think I want the bow. Oh, I don't know, because I think when I have them displayed together on a shelf, I'm probably going to want it to go like this. So I'm probably going to maybe want the bow to go on this side. Okay? If that makes sense. It's hello. Say hello to yourselves. Hello, selves. How you doing? Oh, we're doing good, you know. There you go. Oh, all right. So, okay, I'm nervous about this part. I'm dipping it in the glue pot and it's scaring me. I don't like it. That's so much ouchy waiting to happen. And I set it on medium, but I think I can probably go higher than that. All right. Oh, God. It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me. Ah. There we go. Down just a tiny little bit. I want the bottom of that to kind of just skim over the top of that. Okay, so we've got one. Now I'm going to go put the hydrangea behind it. Ah! Oh my gosh, they're all stuck together. Hold on. The hydrangea is attached. There we go. So this was more expensive. So this is a very large hydrangea bloom. This was $7.99 at the at-home store. Oops, there we go. And I told my daughter I was running in for just one thing, and she knows damn well I lied. All right, so now I'm going to cut this off. There's already a little mark here, makes it a little bit easier to cut, so I'm going to snap it here. But again, here, I'm going to nub this off. I'm going to try to get rid of this little nub here, okay? All right, so then I can probably use this somewhere in the arrangement. And another stick to save. Yay. All right. All right, so we're going to put this in toward the back. All right, because this is going to basically kind of fill in this spot back here, because I don't really have a heck of a lot to put back here. All right, but that's just going to kind of fill it in. This one's going to kind of go down a bit more. I call it a bit more straight, but I do want the leaf. I'm going to probably have it kind of coming out, maybe out the side a little bit. All right, so here we go. I'm dipping it in. Oh, God. I'm scared. I'm going to go down a little further. I think he's down about as far as he's going to go. I wish he could have gone down further. But we're going to fill in down here with some black. So that's going to be okay. Yeah. Yuck. Glue snot. Yeah, if I hadn't put so much glue in, I might have tried to pop it down a little further. But I think he's hitting the bottom. So I probably should have cut a little bit more off, but but that's okay, you know. We did what we did. So now for the next rose, well, let's cut the price tag off first. Here we go. I'm getting around him right here. The next rose, we're going to go again. I'm going to trim it off right here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to want my bow here. So this one's going to have to kind of go. Move this over. Move that over that way. Kind of in the back. Because I want the bow to kind of be here, but kind of coming off over to the side. I don't want it to look like it's in the front. All right. So taking the glue. I guess it's working out okay so far, having the glue pot. I think there's a lot of glue glopping on it, so I think I have to make it hotter so that it's more liquidy. I almost said liquidious. That's not a word. All right. This is going to be a pretty small bow. We're not doing a huge bow here by any means, okay? Push this down a little bit more. A little bit. All right. This is looking really nice. All right. That's what we have so far. So now before I go putting in all of these other picks and whatnot, I want to make my bow. Oh, I'll keep the flowers though. All right. So I'm going to bring over my friend. I'm going to introduce you guys to somebody that most of you know and love. The Bow Maker, the Easy Bows Design Pro. Now I'm going to move my glue stuff up a little bit so I can move this over. You guys can see exactly how I'm going to make this. So I am only going to be using a little bit of this, a little bit of black, and then I think we're going to go with 1.5 inch, maybe. I don't see. I really wish that I had something darker that kind of matched the velvet. You know what? I don't think I'm going to put a 1/2 inch on here. I don't. I think maybe I'll see how it goes with this. All right. So I don't honestly know how I'm going to make this bow right now. My mind is going in a million different directions. So let's see what we do. So I know for a fact I am going to want to dovetail this baby. Because I don't, well, unless I put a curl down the side. No. I'm trying very hard not to make this bow too large, okay? I tend to want to go big with the bows. Go big or go home. We don't want that. We don't want to go big, all right? So here's like, we're going to have a tail that literally just hits like just past 5. We don't want this big, okay? I'm just going to put in, so this loop, we're going to make this loop you know what? I wonder, instead of making it like that. Well, no, we're going to do that. All right. I'm going to make this loop 4 inches. Now, I'm going to pinch it here right now. What I want to do is see, how is this looking? Is this too big? I always do this. This is just an easy way to tell. So, yeah, that's too big because I got to make more loops still. Okay? Unless, all right, I figured out how I'm going to do this. All right, I'm going to put this in here. We're going to cut this off a little bit less. All right, we're going to trim this a little bit less. There we go. So that hits at 5. I'm going to just make a loop. Okay, and that loop is going to hit at, it's like 3.5. And I'm just going to do a tail on this side, okay? All right. Snip. Because I can pull some of these tails off to the side or behind it as well. We'll see. If this doesn't work, I can do it again. I could potentially use this too, but I don't know. I don't know. I think we're going to see how this goes. I'm winging it here, guys. I came into this with no plan at all. Yeah, no plan. Because don't forget, I was going to put this on a stem. So it's going to be a little higher up. So it's not going to sit right down there. It's going to be a little higher up. So we can afford to have a couple little loopies. Plus, I can cut my tails shorter. I don't have to have my tails this length. They can go smaller. All right. This one's going to go up a little bit higher than the tails over there. I'm going to pinch and twist, okay? Pinching and twisting. But I think I want my loop to be pretty close to the same size. So we're going to put that one down there. So we're going to do a 3-inch loop. Unless I make another loop on this one. I might. Let me see what that'll look like. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what this looks like. If I don't like it, I can take it off. All right, I've got enough that I can make another bow. All right, I'm dovetailing this end. All right, so then I'm gonna grab my pipe cleaner. I'm gonna see what this looks like. Sometimes we gotta play around. So this is experimental, if you will, okay? All right, so I've got it pinched. Let me twist it around the back here. I literally just wrapped a pipe cleaner around it. I'm just twisting it once or twice. So I'm gonna go that way, go that way, this way. Just adding a little bit here, right? So I think what I want to do, don't hate me. I want to do a different thing on the bottom one. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to, how do I undo this? What the, which direction am I going here? All right, I want to redo the bottom one. I'm going to do 2 loops instead of just one. Okay, so we're going to go, remember that was almost a 5. That, we're going to do a loop at a little past 3, so like a 3.5. We're going to do a loop at 3.5. Okay, and then we're going to cut a little past 5, give it a dovetail. I will be able to still use that piece of ribbon that I that I cut. I can use it in something else. I think I'm going to have to trim that tail. That's okay. I'm going to take the burgundy back out of here. I like the burgundy just as it was, so I'm going to keep its shape. I'm just going to shove it back down in there. And that, my friends, is why I love having a bow maker. All right. There we go. All right. Pulling this out. I'm going to go around here now with this pipe cleaner. I'm going to tighten it again. All right. Now let's work with this. So let's see. I think we want to go tail up in the back, and then loop down, and then loop up, and tail down. All right. And then we're going to go tail down, black loop up, and then burgundy, and tail up. All right. I like this. And once I get it in there, I can definitely trim the tails, but see how I'm squeezing these loops together? What that does is it helps hide the pipe cleaner that is in the middle. Okay, so no one's gonna see it now. No one's gonna know. They're not gonna know. All right. So now that I have this, I wanna take the rest of my pipe cleaner and I'm twisting it. I'm trying to make just one long piece. It doesn't have to go all the way to the end, but just enough, all right? Now, oh, I'm scared of this part. I need to attach that bow into there. So what I'm going to do is cut off a little bit of this, okay? There we go. I'm going to wrap this bow around the stem so that I can have my bow be a little bit higher. I don't even know if I need it that high. Actually, I can probably take... I dropped my stick. Hold on. I dropped my stick. I'm going to take a little bit more off the top. All right? Because I don't think I need it that tall. What I want to avoid is I don't want to end up hitting the side of the planter where I can't push this down any further. Okay? So... teeny tiny little bit, little bit, okay? Actually, I'm gonna start up here. I'm gonna wrap this around. Once I got it started, now I'm just gonna turn the stick, not the bow. Turn the stick, turn the stick. All right, till it's nice and tight and snug. All right, it is on that stick. I'm pulling tight, as tight as I can get it. I want it as flush as I can get it on there. All right. Here we go. The nice thing about it is if the pain in the ass customer that I'm making it for doesn't like it, then she can make a bow herself. Because I'm making it for me. I'm the pain in the ass. Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm moving the ribbons out of the way. Notice we hardly used any ribbon at all. So when you buy ribbons for a project, you know, I've got other things that I can make with these spools of ribbon now, which is fantastic. I've had this ribbon. I believe this came from Joann, probably about 5 years ago. I've had it, and I've been using it just ever so sparingly in little projects here and there. All right, so this is where that bow is going to go in. So now I'm going to dip the bottom in my glue pot. Oh, I was scared. I'm scared. All right, here we go. All right, get all the boogers off. All right. Go in maybe just a hair further, just a hair. You know what? I want to change my loops. I'm going to go there. See? I'm going to go this way instead. I'm changing the direction of all of my loops. It's because I did not like how I was seeing it, how it was laying. There we go. All right. So I know for sure I definitely want to take these tails down shorter. All right. I think that one's okay. This one I'm going to go just a hair shorter on this one. Oops, where did I drop it? There we go. Little piece come out. All right, this one's gonna go a little bit shorter too. Because I wanted just a really small little something, but nothing too major. And see how these squeeze together and you can't see the pipe cleaner. All right. All right, so this is how we're looking right now. All right, let's take a look at how it looks all around. I still have that back added there for height, so I have to fill this in with some black. All right, but maybe hopefully I don't have to put too much Spanish moss in there because I hate that stuff. It's nasty. But it works. I can't think of anything else I could put in there in its place that would actually work. All right. Sorry, I found a pin, so let me just wrap this back up in here. Now we're going to start adding in, I call it greenery, even though, yes, it's black, but it's the whole point is basically it's filler bush. When you hear people say greenery, just think filler bush. All right. So I had these 2 giant leaves left over from this. So what I want to do is try to put them right back here. So I'm going to see if I can cut it with this. Oh my God. Oh, it worked. Yay. So I'm going to add a little glue and I'm going to put these extra leaves. Like if you paid money for all these pieces that are on this bush, so you should try to use it if as long as it doesn't look like you're forcing it, but leverage everything you have. That was kind of, ugh. So we're going to go in here like this, pushing it in. Got some leaves. There we go. Now I'm trying to bend it down. These have, they're bendies a little bit, so I'm trying to bend this down as much as possible. They kind of fill that in. That looks better. That looks a lot better. And I still have another small leaf over there. Actually, maybe I'll pull that in the middle. There we go. Look at that. That's filling it out pretty nicely. All right, so we still have some of these leaves. Now, trying to look for height. I like the leaves of these I like the look of these leaves better. These look a little plasticky on the bottom and the underside. I kind of like these better, so we're gonna stick with these. So again, this came from the Bloom Room. I'm gonna cut one off. Now I do want to add some height in here, okay? Now these are not, oh, these are pushers. Yay, I can push them up a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna see if I want to put some, like how high up do I need to have some of this? So I can trim some of this off, right? I think I want to put a little piece right in here, kind of like right behind the bow to kind of break up all the floral. I can take a little bit more off, actually. I'm going to basically glue it in until right here, okay? We're going to see how far down we can go. So stuck it in my glue pot. Before I bring the glue over, I am making a space with my hand so I can see exactly where it needs to go. I'll keep my hot little hand out of the freaking way so I don't hurt myself. And see, there we go. It's adding just a touch, just a hair, a little bit in there, a little bit of interest. I think we're going to put another one like kind of right around the side. I'm going to push up on that as far as I can. All right, so now we're going to try to put one in here on the side. Here we go. What is that hitting? That's hitting something. There we go. All right, now I want to put something kind of on the other side as well. Now I'm not trying to make this super symmetrical, but I don't want it to look lopsided. So that's why we're adding some stuff in. I usually do one side kind of, and then maybe a little bit on the other. I don't want to end up where I have all the stuff on one side and then I've run out of material and I don't have it for the other side. That would suck. All right. All right. So let's go add some more for height. Again, this came from the Bloom Room. This was $9.99, but I think it was 40% off. And this is a really nice bush. I really like the quality of it. All right. Where else do I think I need something? I honestly think maybe kind of here, but just a little bit. Okay, so I'm actually going to take one of those leaves off. I just want a little bit to be able to go like right in here. Oh, that's got some, that one has something on the leaf, so I'm going to go for a different one. Okay, remember I took one of those bottom leaves off. Just want a little bit, so I'm going to put this in here. Just a little bit. I'm going right in here. They come out just a little bit. Oops. Pull it up just a little bit. Put that back on the stem. My eyes are bad, so I can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. Now he's back on there. Half of it got glued to me. That's okay. I'm willing to sacrifice my nails, all in the name of crafting. All right, I like that because it fills it in, gives it a little bit of interest here, but it's not hanging down too low. So I like that. I like that. I think we're looking good. All right. Let's try to add, I think a little bit more. I think maybe, because that's kind of going off to the side, maybe a little bit here. Not a lot, just a little. I think this might be too short. We're going to go with another slightly longer piece. All right, we're going to go with this one. Adding a little bit of glue, a little dab will do ya. That used to be for, I think, grill cream or something like that back in the 50s. All right, finding my spot. All right, glue, go, go, go. I'm so paranoid about burning myself. All right. Okay, so we're looking really good. Let me show you what it kind of looks like. This is where we're at with top down right now. But we've been neglecting his butt. We got to go back here. We got to start putting some things back here. So I think we're going to start with this one that I had cut that was originally too short. So I'm going to poke that baby right down in there. All right. If you do drop a little glue on something, just let it sit. And then eventually you can, most of the time, just pick it right off. There you go. All right. I think we need definitely something in here, probably two somethings. And I happen to have 2 bushes left. So I'm gonna cut one off. I'm gonna take off the price tag because I'm classy that way. All right. This one can be short, so I'm gonna trim some of that off. But I want to keep all the foliage on this one because there's quite a bit of, I'm gonna call it white space that we need to fill. So we're going down in here. I'm pushing, but also pushing from higher up so that I do not get glue. I don't want to get hurt on my fingers. I'm definitely going to have to go in and put in some Spanish moss. Blech. And then I'll show you a little trick when I'm done. I got one more that I'm going to put in. This is a bit of a taller one though, so I don't know. We're going to have to see if... All right, do I need a taller one anywhere else? Before I mess anything else up, do I need a taller one anywhere else? And I think honestly kind of back here might not be a bad place to put it. So I'm going to make this one a little bit taller, okay? All right, sorry, I just hit the camera with my shoulder. I hope you guys are okay. Did it hurt? Are you all right? All right, going in tall and strong, and here we go. Now I have some leaves left, right? So this one, for example, it's got some leaves left. I'm gonna just put, just a teeny tiny little dab of glue on the top. Just teeny tiny. All right, teeny tiny. Just to kind of stop it from going up. Because I still got to cover that up, okay? So I'm going to cover that. So I'm going to go in now with that. It is easier having a glue pot. I admit it, everyone was right. Having a glue pot is easier. All right, but I want to make sure, I don't really want to see all those leaves in there. So I'm trying to cover it as best I can. But I think we're good. But I'm going to save these extra leaves because all I have to do is, like I said, I'm going to put a little tiny dab of glue on the top of this. All right, tiny little dab of glue. I'm just going to put my leaves right back on this stem because you never know when you can find somewhere where you need just a tiny little piece. I do a lot of arrangements that are made out of coffee cups, and they use a lot of teeny tiny stuff like this. So I'm going to make some Halloween ones. So these leaves will actually be perfect for that. And that reminds me, I completely forgot to make any of those for my boutique space. So I better get on that. I've got the foam in the cup. I just haven't done anything with it. All right, so let's take a look where we're at now. Let me clean up some of this mess, get stuff out of the way so we're not distracted by pieces. And let's take a look, okay? All right, we're gonna fluff that. We're gonna pull that up. I like it. It's just a touch of a bow, right? So what I love is if this comes up, you can still see all of those roses down there. All right, we're going around. Guess what? That pick that I just made, I'm using it right here. Going in right there. Filled it all in. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. I just have to use a little tiny bit of Spanish moss down in here. Very, very little bit. You can see sometimes you got to move your leaves around. Check the position of your leaves, you know, kind of see where things are going. You know, so we got the rose in here. I think it's too late probably to pull this up a little bit. I wish I would have made this rose just a little higher up. Oh, it's coming up a little bit. Okay, perfect. So because that came up a little bit, I do want to go in and add a little bit of glue right around the base so that now it's in there good. All right, now let's get the snot. All right, so there we have it. That is our finished arrangement. That is going to go on my shelf with this cute little mirror. So it's going to kind of sit like that. I'm going to face it away from me because I don't want to see myself sitting in my recliner watching TV. But it's really pretty. And I wasn't going to buy this, but I'm really glad I did, just because every once in a while I decide to make something and keep it for myself. And this is one of those things. I think my husband would have actually thought this is really cool. So I'm going to keep that. You know, sometimes you can't go out and buy all new Halloween stuff for your entire house. Like, who can afford that? But if you just invest in maybe 1 to 2 different pieces a year, then you find that it's not stagnant then. You're kind of changing it little by little, and it doesn't feel the same year to year. And that's just a nice way to kind of start giving your house a little bit of a holiday shake-up, right? Tina, I'm so glad you like it. Thank you. Candace, thank you. Phyllis. So Phyllis, the skull came from, this was from the at-home store. Now, I got this last year, but it's $34.99. They have one in all black this year, but I have seen similar planters to this. Check Joann, because I believe I saw something very similar to this there. I don't know if it had the roses, but in terms of being a planter sitting on this with just the top of the skull, pretty sure I saw that there. It was a very quick a mesh veil. You could. I actually have a wreath that has a skull on it that it has a hat on it. Basically it was from Michael's. It was meant to be an actual hat. Let me show you something similar, okay? This is something similar, but they're headbands that I got from Michael's, but I used them on skulls, but it did have some like netting that came down over it. It was gray and black, and it did have that netting in it that came down over the skull's face, and it looked really, really cool. So that is an awesome idea. You could absolutely do that. You know what? Let me take you guys off the stand. I want you to be able to kind of get a little closer up view. All right, here we go. Got that. I would say overall this thing is probably 18 inches tall. Looking in the back. Going around. See, you can see just a little bit of the foam in there, so we're going to add just a hint of icky Spanish moss. All right, so you've got that, which goes with the mirror. The mirror was $9.99 from the at-home store. But see, it's got those roses there. And it's got the roses in here. So this was really fun. And the nice thing is the gaps and cracks, you just sprayed it right in. I don't have to worry about cutting blocks of foam or anything. It's a nice alternative. You just have to let it sit for 24 hours before you start poking stuff in there. But it pokes in there very, very well. It doesn't collapse on me. Sometimes, floral foam, if you put too hot of a glue on there, sometimes it can melt it a little bit, but this does not do that. Gaps and cracks, you are my best friend. All right. Oh, and there I am. Hi. Hello. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me this Monday crafternoon. I am doing something exciting tomorrow night, Tuesday, July 23rd, 7 o'clock here on Facebook, 9 o'clock over on TikTok. I'm doing a live sale of some of the Halloween items that I have not yet taken to the boutique space. So I've got a lot of stuff pulled out. I'm going to have wreaths, arrangements, and bows that we're going to go through in great detail because I have a sale that runs through, I believe, the end of Wednesday night is 20% off in my shop. So if you're going to buy anything, now is the time to go and do that because that sale ends on Wednesday and I'm not going to run another sale again until, well, I don't know when. All right. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me that you guys like what I do enough to spend your time with me because time is valuable. So thank you from the bottom of my heart and happy Halloween. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. You can shop my store at sweetradecor.com and you can follow me all over social media.